Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be discussing a very strange aspect of the twin flame journey. And this is the phenomenon of twin flames sharing physical symptoms and sensations, sharing or experiencing this merging of all of their bodily senses. Now, the reason this happens, like with essentially everything twin flames experience, is because of an energy dynamic at the roots of this sharing of the senses. Because as we know, twin flames are energetically intertwined with one another. Now, of course, we can become entangled. We can become energetically bonded with virtually anyone or anything. At the quantum level, we sometimes call this quantum entanglements. And very often you will hear spiritual teachers say that if you want to attract someone into your life, or you want to manifest something specific into your life, you have to get entangled with it. Essentially, you have to enmesh your own energy with the energy of that thing, and you will begin to experience more and more of it. But what do we do when it comes to twin flames? Because with a twin flame soul bond, there is no intentional entanglements of the souls, alignments of the souls with one another. We simply are interconnected at the soul level. And the reason for this is because beneath all of the levels and layers of programming and ideology, and even the person we believe to be us, what we call the personality, beneath all of that, there is this core soul frequency, and that is what we share with our twin flame. That is how we are the same, even if on the surface we may appear to be very different in the physical world at times. So because of this energetic sameness by the law of attraction, there is no need to intentionally entangle ourselves with our twin flame to attract them or manifest them into our lives or anything like that. It simply is. It's a connection that simply finds us. In fact, many of you probably didn't even know about the twin flame path until there was evidence showing up in your life, leading you to this knowledge of twin flames, because you were naturally entangled spiritually with that information by being a conscious twin flame yourself. So therefore, again, by the law of attraction, you were guided to that kind of information and material. But when it comes to twin flames, we experience this sharing of these senses, at some level, it's an experiencing of each other's physical experience to a heightened degree, to a degree we will not experience with any other person or any other thing. In fact, it's such a profound experience to be, in a way, living this almost double life, where at the same time you have one foot in two realities or existences. On the one hand, you're living this traditional experience of being human in your physical body, but at the same time, energetically, you are always connecting with this other soul that for many of us is incarnated here on earth in a separate physical body, living a separate physical experience. In fact, this sharing of two physical life experiences, because of this soul interconnectedness, can cause us to feel energetically drained and exhausted at times, especially before we have the time to catch our balance, so to speak, as twin flames, to get the hang of living in these two existences, sharing so much with another soul in such a conscious way. And one of the things that can be very confusing or at times even exhausting is the way in which we are always capable of tapping into what our twin flame is physically experiencing through their 5 senses. So how does this work at the energy level? So everything we pick up through our physical senses is actually energetic information that we are simply interpreting through our senses. So this is why I say that we can have this experience of briefly sharing sensations or feelings or emotions with others besides our twin flame, or with other things or places. It's why when we meditate and visualize something really, really intensely, we can actually begin to feel like in our physical body, we are almost experiencing that thing. This is also why when we forge some kind of a soul tie with a certain person in this lifetime, and we become very close to them energetically, and we are sending a lot of energy back and forth between us and this person, we can experience what they're physically experiencing or kind of pick up on their energy more easily from time to time. This is the same reason that very often you will get this flash of knowing that your phone is about to ring or that someone is about to text you. You'll almost see it through your own mind right before you get that call or get that message from that person who may be very close to you energetically or spiritually in some way. You were simply picking up on that information from them. Now, the difference when it happens to twin flames, this sharing of the senses, is that it doesn't matter how much you have been actively thinking about one another. And it doesn't matter whether it's been years or decades since you've spoken. In fact, it doesn't even matter if you've never met in this physical world at all, because that energetic interconnectedness is already there. And another way that it's different for twin flames, this sharing of the senses, is simply that it's more intense because there's no way to turn it off. With other forms of connection, we are able to lessen those feelings of sharing senses with others simply by doing cord cutting ceremonies, by choosing to separate more consciously our energy field from these others. And over time, this can lead to kind of an unraveling of this energy bond, causing this sharing of emotions and this sharing of the senses. But this simply does not work for twin flames. Because as many of you know, and as we've talked about before on this channel, whenever you attempt to cord cut or cut the energy cords between yourself and your twin, you experience a lot of backlash physically, emotionally, spiritually. And the reason for this is because your twin flame is the only soul with which there are no cords. Or if you're going to think of there being a cord, you would have to imagine it as being that cord running from your heart to theirs. That silver cord twin flames are often illustrated as having, that is entirely unbreakable, eternal, that simply just is, that exists lifetime after lifetime. There is no shutting this connection off. And in fact, very often, when we try to shut it off or turn it off, the reason we get that kind of backlash is because we are trying to push back against our very own self, against our own soul, because there is that shared energy between twin flames. So, some examples of twin flames picking up on each other's senses. I'm going to share with you 5 ways in which twin flames can sense what the other is doing or experiencing in the moment. And I really hope that by listening to this podcast, if you are experiencing some of these things, it helps to provide you with a sense of clarity, but also to reassure you that no, you are not going crazy, as the ego likes to often tell us that we may be delusional or somehow making all of this up. And know that this is not only normal and natural to experience as a twin flame, but in fact, it is inevitable. It is impossible to turn off this shared mutual experience of senses between twins. Now, with that being said, earlier we were talking about the need for surrender, because as twin flames, there is no pushing back against this connection, because when we push back, we are pushing back against our very own self, our own soul. Our twin is here to illuminate within us any aspect, piece, or parts of ourselves that is unaligned with our highest frequency, highest vibrational, I often say, version of ourselves. Essentially, any negative programming, limiting belief about ourselves or about the world that is keeping us disconnected from unconditional love, which is the highest frequency that we can carry. So to assist you in releasing some of this negative programming and returning back to that home frequency, to that frequency of unconditional love, I've created a 7-chakra twin flame clearing subliminal meditation. Now, subliminals are particularly effective for energy clearing because unlike traditional spoken affirmations, they contain affirmations embedded within other frequencies and meditation sounds. And the purpose of this is to bypass the filter of your conscious minds and make deep, lasting impressions on the subconscious mind, which is directly reflected in the energy field. Now, this twin flame 7-chakra clearing specifically is designed to uproot and clear out any blockages you might be carrying, preventing you from fully connecting with that frequency of unconditional love. And the beautiful thing about this as twins is this not only allows us to shift into a deeper state of peace and love and surrender within ourselves, but also by releasing these blockages, it deepens, strengthens, and aligns the bonds with our twin flame that then effortlessly begins to manifest, to show up physically in our lives as well. So this subliminal comes from my website, soundandsoulful.com. As you can see on the screen, on this website, I've created over 100 subliminals for all areas of life. So I have subliminals for physical appearance changes, for mood shifts like confidence and happiness, for money and material manifestations, for love and relationships. And of course, there is an entire category of subliminals specifically for twin flames, and you can explore around the sites and mix and match them into your very own custom playlist as well. And you can do all of this as a member when you sign up for a 7-day free trial account, which again, all of the information on that is in the pinned comments and description box under this video. So 5 ways that twin flames pick up and feel each other's physical senses. The first is around food and eating. So whenever your twin flame is eating something or smelling a certain food or even just craving a certain food, this can actually affect your cravings, your appetites, your hunger levels, and also can cause you to feel as though you are tasting or smelling a food that isn't actually directly in your physical 3D experience at that time. Another strange side effect of this particular sharing of the senses between twins is that the more you consciously walk this twin flame path and continue to strengthen this energy bond between yourself and your twin, you may actually find that certain tastes in food change. And in some cases, you may actually pick up things that your twin flame likes to eat, or certain things that they tend to have on a regular basis. And you may begin actually craving these things that you may have never even eaten before in the past in your own physical body. So the second way that twin flames can sense each other's energy, and I would say of this whole list, this is the one that can be the most frustrating for twins. And this is through substance use of any kind. So whenever your twin flame is using a particular substance that is somehow impacting their mentality, their mental state, even their physical chemistry, you will be capable of at times feeling the aftermath of those substances, or feeling as though you are reacting to them yourself, even though you yourself are not using them in that moment. So this can especially be frustrating for twin flame couples where one twin flame perhaps has become more consciously, spiritually awakened, and maybe decides that they want to spend less time drinking or partying, and they want to spend more time with themselves in meditation, focusing on their own self-growth and self-love. And they may find that nights where they are staying in, doing self-care, whatever the case may be, if their twin is out drinking and partying, they might actually feel the effects, the buzz from those experiences, but also the negative after effects the next day. The third way that twin flames can physically pick up on and share senses is through smelling a particular location or something about their immediate environments. So for some twins, I would say that one of the more noticeable times that you will notice this is if your twin lives in some kind of a physical, geographical environment. Let's say they live near the ocean. And of course, the ocean has a very distinct smell. So if you live in the middle of a country and you are somewhere that is completely landlocked, so you don't often go to the ocean. However, let's say your twin lives in a beach or in a beach house on the ocean, or they live somewhere near the ocean, or even take a vacation there. You might really pick up on the smell of salt water. You may even through your physical body feel that humid air, even if where you are is actually very cold at that time. So the fourth way that twin flames can pick up on each other's senses, and I would say that this is the most rare way, because although this will most likely happen to you as a twin from time to time, it tends to happen less than these other signs. And this is you at times may actually get flashes of vision through either your mind's eye, your third eye, or even overlaying your actual physical vision, or while you are about to fall asleep or just waking up, you might suddenly get this vision of what your twin flame is doing in that moment. And later on, you may actually have this confirmed to you by your twin. So you know that this wasn't just a daydream. This was actually a window of insights into what your twin flame was seeing around them in that moment. Now, the reason I say this is the most rare way of sharing senses with your twin is because most of us are very attached to our physical 3D world and mostly absorbing through our senses what is immediately present in our environments. But we are, for the most part, most of us are most attached to our environments through our physical eyesight. So it's very difficult typically for us to pick up visually in the middle of our day what our twin flame is doing in that moment, but this does still happen to twins from time to time. And finally, the fifth way that twin flames can feel each other's senses, so to speak, is simply through general body sensations or through physical touch. So, of course, like with any of these signs, there are limitless ways that this could apply to you and to your situation. But one example of this is that you could be somewhere that's very cold and your twin could be overheated in that moment, and you might actually feel a wave of warmth or heat. Also, this can happen in the reverse. So you may be in a very hot environment and your twin is somewhere where it's cold and snowing, and you might actually feel as though you are so cold in that hot, humid environment that you have to put on more layers of clothing. And this is just one of those strange ways that when you and your twin are in separate physical spaces, physical environments, living even at times very different life experiences, these signs always remind you that regardless of what difference or distance might seem to exist between you and the physical, you are always connected at the soul and at the energy level. So do let me know in the comments under this video, have you personally experienced any of these signs or anything that I didn't list here with your twin flame? Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. Join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. The link to my twin flame 7-chakra clearing subliminal meditation is in the pinned comments and description box under this video. Otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you again in the next podcast.